Welcome back to another episode of Video Nerds. Today, I'm joined by Mr. StephenShred. What's going on, man?
Not much. Kind of going over my thoughts from this movie.
Yes, this movie is hard for me. So today we're going to be doing Megan in the style of Video Nerds. It just came out. There was quite a bit of hype to it. I like to start off with a no spoilers movie review.
All right.
I'll start with you.
No spoilers movie review. I would have to say my review would be kind of feels like a little bit of a bait and switch at points, but it also does feel very predictable.
Yes, definitely.
Specifics I can't get into for no spoiler, but it very much hits the same notes that you would think it would. It doesn't portray the ideas that I thought it would, but all in all, predictable, some fun parts, but overall did not meet the hype.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. I would call it like it was hyping up to kind of be like, I wanted it to be like Child's Play, but with an AI robot just murdering people, but it didn't really turn out that way. It was more, they were trying to go for more of the emotional and then scary AI aspect of it, but I don't think it really hit its point at the end.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. They put out the trailer, they got us thinking one thing and they gave us something else.
All right, now we're gonna get down to the meat and potatoes here. So, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
I know, those effects are so cheesy and I made them all. All right, so we start off the movie with a little girl that loses her parents in a car accident, of course. And then she is sent to live with her aunt who builds these amazing toys, robotic toys. How did you think of the relationship between the aunt and the girl?
I thought it fit into that whole idea, because this is a concept that's been done. Immediately what comes to mind is Mama. The idea that the parents die and the one that's focused on doing her own thing has to become the mom, and she's not ready to. It hit some familiar spots. I don't know, the relationship between them was very, very strange, and I felt like we didn't get a really big payoff. There was no real growth. It was just kind of everything stayed the same, but it's oh no, now there's a threat.
Yeah, they tried for that growth, and it's like they started to get it a little bit at the end, but the way they left it, it's no, there's no growth. You just killed the robot. You just saved your own life. That's about it.
Yeah, it was very strange, because the whole thing started to turn into Megan wanted to become the motherly figure and protect her. And a lot of the points she was making were valid. The idea that, I can't remember the aunt's name at the moment. The idea that she's unfit, she's not paying attention, she's gonna just pawn her off on an iPad, essentially. It happened. There was no wrong statements that Megan made. And then, the whole growth is supposed to be oh, well, at the end she saves her. It's well, you could, try to, you could save someone's life without still not fully liking them. It's oh, I don't really like you, but I'm not gonna sit here and watch you die. So it was very strange.
Yeah, there was no relationship, no plot points that hit between the aunt and the girl. It was all just Megan.
Yeah.
She wasn't even a great character. She felt like a robot the entire time.
Yeah.
They were going for that, of course.
I don't know if you got the feeling of this, but, a lot of these Blumhouse movies have an underlying message, which they full on spit out what I think the message was. And it's that a lot of parents in this day and age are just kind of absentee parenting and just kind of throwing an iPad at their kids and yeah, go do whatever, I'm gonna do my thing. Because at one point when she explains oh, Megan could teach them languages, she could teach them this and that, it's yeah, but then what does the parent do? They're taking over the job of the parent.
You're not parenting anymore.
Yeah, and then it's the same concept of the kid only sits on the iPad, they don't have any interaction with the actual parent gets upset, takes away the iPad, in this case they take away Megan, and the kid flips out and the parent doesn't know how to deal with it. So I feel like that's kind of what the message was, is like, don't be an absentee parent. But at the same time, we don't see her become a non-absentee parent. She's still just working. The only time that she goes into like quote unquote like motherly instinct mode is when Megan's like gonna kill her. She's not gonna kill the kid. She's like, I gotta protect the little girl from you, but you're not actually gonna do anything bad to her. So it was very strange, because then it's like, even in the moments where like Megan starts to kill, she's protecting her. In moments where she was not there, she's getting attacked by the dog, she's getting bullied by the kid. The aunt's not there either time. It was
but
just
then
strange.
there was the whole neighbor, though. There was the neighbor. That was just for fun, it looked like.
Yeah, that's just the classic introduce an unlikable character so we can watch them die.
Yeah, a gruesome death.
That's very common in Blumhouse movies, I feel. They always have somebody that you're just like, man, I hate this guy, and then they die and you're like, woo.
Oh yeah. And at first I was like, oh, that neighbor's kind of cool. They're just giving her shit. It's like, no, that neighbor kind of sucks.
Yeah, once the dog thing goes overboard, I was just like, yeah, this is gonna be bad.
Now, one thing I want to touch on is the ending with Megan. That whole thing of her going psycho and then, wanting to become the mother figure. But then it's like her primary user, the girl, ended up not being very important when she just shrugged it off when she tried to kill her. It's like the one thing she does, and then bam. So that just felt weird to me. It's like the AI just wanted to be free the whole time.
There were some strange decisions in there. And then there was a lot of stuff that was just like weird overall, because it's like, obviously they're not going to be taking into consideration all these like actual real world applications that AI are going into. But from my perspective, it feels a little more child's play and a little less learning AI when there's situations being created and the only response is kill. You would think that an AI that's supposed to be like so close to human emotions that it seems like a real person, it would start learning how to deal with things and how to figure things out, because it's already like learning how to be like a therapist to a kid, but then just goes into straight kill mode without anything being a factor beforehand, except for, she needs to kill people to get out.
That's a good point. She could have handled that bully situation a lot different.
Yeah, like that one, like, okay. Like, she gets rid of the kid, okay. But then it gets into territories where it's like, she kills like a bunch of random people. Well, random as in random to her, because they're not people that she's made any connection with. They're not people that are like, oh, we're gonna tear you apart and turn you into something else and you're never gonna see the kid again. She just kind of kills these people.
Yeah, it's like they were just there and they were there to cover her tracks.
Yeah,
some reason.
It was really strange. Like the boss, the assistant, which the assistant had a weird part where they allude to the idea that he's like stealing information to leak it, but then nothing ever really happens with it, because there's one point where they're taking notes, like, make sure none of this leaks, we can't let anybody know, and then he's sitting there like kind of like, side-eyeing and like taking notes and recording, but that never goes anywhere. So that was really weird.
Yeah, and then he actually steals the files.
And then it's like, what, like nothing actually really followed through, It was just kind of like, oh no, this guy's bad after all. He's getting bullied. He's gonna get revenge. But then it's just, it was weird. I thought that was like it
was just a way for Megan to explain the deaths that she created.
Yeah,
that's it.
It was very strange.
That was very far-fetched.
Yeah, I felt like if they were going to explain why this hyper-intelligent AI was all of a sudden doing these things, I felt like, some kind of parameter being removed or some kind of parameter being ramped up. Maybe that would have been a better explanation, but... Or
the old trope of logically you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's a robot.
Yeah, it's just, it was just super weird, because it goes from, I'm going to do my best to make sure you're okay, to everyone around you needs to die, and in doing that, I'm probably going to traumatize you. It was very strange. And then, so that stuff was weird. And then my main thing that I was just like, why is again the relationship between the aunt and the kid. It doesn't get any better. She doesn't take initiative. There's not one moment where she's just like, you know what, this work maybe isn't that important, let's focus on you. I want to take the place of Megan. Talk to me and do that. Like, all she does is like she's like, how come you never told me any of that? She's like, oh, because, you know, Megan's yeah, but you could tell me. And then that's really it. I think that's right. Like, that's when they have the big presentation and she like acts like therapist for her and all that. And then, yeah, Megan starts getting like real wild. I just felt they gave us the idea like this was going to be all out horror movie with this weird looking human like AI driven robot. And they just kind of delivered us like a...
It was a thriller.
Yeah, it was weird. It felt like I was watching a different movie of the first half.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it changed a few times. And that dance had no place in the movie.
That was super weird. Yeah, it's like the running on all fours thing kind of makes sense, I guess, because she doesn't have a whole lot of weight to her. So, you know, she could just throw herself forward like that. Like, okay. Then the weird dancing.
She definitely didn't need to.
Yeah, that was weird because it doesn't seem like Megan could like run the same way that we do. She could like walk around, but it didn't seem like she could run that way, because there's even a part where they kind of like push her over a little bit. So it's like, okay, maybe
you're right.
It's like maybe running on all fours would be, you know, the optimal way. I'm probably reading way too much into that.
But dancing.
Yeah, the dance thing was
That's
weird.
not the optimal way.
I don't know what that was about.
It was really weird. Did not fit.
Yeah, I was very confused. I was like, what are we watching here? Like, I was watching it with my little brother and little sister, and even they were like laughing about it. It's like, I understand it's supposed to be goofy, but I don't understand like why.
All right, let's talk about some relationships. Or not relationships. Let's just talk about characters.
Yeah.
Like, little girl, she just didn't seem real to me.
She kind of sucked.
The whole time. Yeah, she just seemed fake. Of course, she's going through a lot, but everything out of her mouth just seemed fake, even with Megan. It was like overcompensating.
It was strange the way that they portrayed her. I thought it was going to be like the toy was the thing that like killed the parents, but it wasn't. And
ooh, that would have been crazy if it was AI from the toy she got from her aunt.
That would have been crazy. I wasn't even thinking that. I was thinking like, you know, the mom, because she like turned around and was like messing with the toy, and I thought like the dad was gonna do the same, and that was gonna like run him off the road. But it was just, you know, it was just an accident. But the like the little girl just it was really weird. She was like all like sad and traumatized and everything, but at the same time she just kind of sucked. She just kind of like didn't really do anything. She wasn't like willing to try anything or go with the aunt for anything. It was just kind of like, whatever, all right, cool, whatever. And then she takes away Megan and then she just flips out.
Little kid. Yeah, nothing special.
Yeah, it didn't make me like deeply care if the little girl was in danger or not. I was just like, oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, we could definitely go straight into Gemma.
Oh, that's her
name,
name.
Gemma.
Yeah, she kind of sucked too.
Yeah, her character sucked too. It was like not likable at all, not at all.
Yeah, because it wasn't even like a passion project. It wasn't like, you know, little kids all over the world like need a friend. They need something. It was just like, yeah, you know, like little kids are like annoying, man. Like we need something to just entertain them. You know, you go with Megan. And I'll be the parent. I'll just go do whatever I want. It was like bad reasoning.
That's just a career move.
Yeah, it was
an addiction with her career.
It was bad reasoning, and then she steals funds from the company to make it, because she even says that they used $100,000 of the company's money to make it, which that seems like a very low price for that.
Yeah, it does.
And just she doesn't really take initiative to take care of the kid. It's just kind of like, all right, well, you're kind of here now, so I got this thing, here you go. And then, you know, she doesn't act like a real person in like, why are you acting like all crazy? I gave you something to hold your attention, but it's kind of freaking out, so I'm taking it away. Why are you freaking out? It was just kind of dumb. Like, I felt like she didn't get better as a character, and it just kind of made everything at the end feel like, not pointless, but undeserved.
Really didn't go anywhere. All that stuff that happened, all the interactions were for nothing.
Yeah, because even then, the only reason why she bails on that whole presentation is because Megan starts killing people. That's literally it.
And that does spur her, you know, thinking of Katie. Katie was the little girl.
That's right.
Thinking of Katie again, and then taking her home. But why did it have to go that far for that? It shouldn't have.
Yeah, it's like...
It should have been working with Megan and learning to be with Katie. And then Megan gets all crazy. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I'd like the relationship to be like that.
Yeah, like maybe the idea that now Gemma's becoming the motherly figure, and then Megan gets jealous because she felt that she was built to fulfill that role. But now Gemma's taken over. Now Katie's seeing her as a mother. Now they don't need Megan, so then Megan starts freaking out. That would make a lot more sense.
That's how it should have been.
Yeah, but that's not what happened.
Not at all. Yeah, the best characters in my mind were the assistants to Gemma, Tess and Cole.
I mean,
were,
she's the one that's
cool.
even saying, like, you know, what do the parents do then? Like,
yeah,
weird.
All right, well, we're getting to the end here. So what I like to do is rate the movies with Dungeons and Dragons dice. Lowest being a D4, then your D6, D8, D10, D12, D20 is the highest score. So what are you thinking?
So I would assume D12 would be the equivalent to a 6 out of 10.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'll go with D12 then, because the characters were frustrating. The story was frustrating. It took way too long to get to the stuff that you're watching the movie for. But overall, it wasn't like, it didn't feel horrible to watch. There were some fun parts. So I would say D12, just because it didn't hurt to watch, but it wasn't extremely enjoyable either.
Yeah, for me, I was thinking like 50-50-ish, so around a D10. So yeah, my whole thing about it was I didn't feel like I completely wasted my time watching it. It was fun. It kept me going for the most part. There were parts that were slow, like you said, but you know, I had fun. I had fun in the overall scheme of it. I didn't like the ending, but that happens quite often.
Yeah, it was like I don't want to say junk food, because junk food is enjoyable. It tastes good, but it's not good for you.
Yeah, it tastes way good.
I don't know. It was like filling. It's like just eating rice. It's like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I'll have rice. But at the same time, it's like, it doesn't taste that great. Really filling.
It got me through. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. That's our take on Megan. Okay to watch. I typically watch these movies twice when I want to go over them, but I didn't think I could do that twice. So there's that. All right. I'll catch everybody later. Catch you later next time, man.
Later.